Emma had dreamed of traveling since she was a child. She imagined cobblestone streets, colorful markets, and the smell of fresh bread on morning streets. Finally, she bought a 2-week ticket for a journey across Europe. The plan was simple: cities, photos, journals, and just herself. But fate had other plans. In Prague, among the narrow streets of the old town, Emma noticed a young man struggling to photograph a bridge. He stumbled over the cobblestones, and their eyes met. "Excuse me, I guess I'm a bit clumsy," he said with a light smile. "Don't worry, looks like we both could use some help." His name was Luke. He was also traveling alone, collecting stories and experiences for his blog. They decided to explore the city together. Hours passed as they wandered through bridges and alleys, peeked into tiny shops, tasted pastries, and laughed at getting lost in the labyrinth of streets. Every moment felt light, natural, as if they had known each other forever. The next day, they traveled to Vienna. On the train, they shared dreams and plans. Emma showed her photos. Luke talked about the people and events he encountered during his travels. In Vienna, they strolled through palaces and rode vintage trams. In the evening, they found a small park with a pond and fed ducks alongside local residents. There, Luke held Emma's hand for the first time, simply without words, and Emma realized their bond had become more important than any adventure. On the third day, they went to Budapest. Rain greeted them immediately, but it only made the day more romantic. They huddled under an umbrella, laughed when they were soaked through, and took photos against the backdrop of ancient bridges. Small mishaps, Luke losing his passport, an unexpected street concert, only brought them closer.
Salzburg welcomed them with snowy hills. They climbed to a viewpoint to see the city from above when the first snowflakes began to fall. "I know we met by chance," Luke said, "but it feels like all roads led me to you." Emma smiled, feeling the warmth of his hand. "Then let's go together, not just here, not just on this trip." The days flew by. In Munich, they attended a festival of classical music, joined a cooking class for local dishes, and laughed when nothing turned out perfectly. In Paris, they wandered Montmartre, sat on the steps of Sacré-Cœur, and watched artists and street musicians. Each country, each city added new colors to their story. Lost luggage, long searches for stations, language misunderstandings. They faced it all together, learning to trust one another.
Their last evening in Lyon was spent on the riverbank under a starry sky. Luke held Emma's hand. "I don't want this journey to end. Let's continue together, not just traveling, but in life." Emma nodded. "I promise this is just the beginning." Among bustling stations, rainy streets, and colorful sunsets, their love was born, promising continuation. They knew that ahead were new cities, new encounters, and stories they would create together. Every ticket, every mishap, every laugh, all became part of their shared fairy tale. After Lyon, Emma and Luke headed to Italy, dreaming of Venice, Florence, and Rome. But adventures rarely go perfectly. On the first day in Venice, their suitcase was lost at the station. At first, they were upset, but soon they started laughing. Now they only had the essentials and each other. They rode gondolas, tasted gelato on every corner, and photographed the canals. Emma noticed a small alley where locals sold antiques. Inside, a tiny kitten jumped onto Luke's shoulder. They laughed so hard that they decided to name it Cupid, a symbol of their love. Sitting on a bridge that evening, Luke said, "Even losing a suitcase didn't ruin my day. Being with you makes everything magical." Emma replied softly, "Because we're together." In Florence, they wandered galleries and museums, marveling at Renaissance masterpieces. In a small cafe, they met a local artist who offered to paint their portrait. The process was hilarious.
Luke tried to pose seriously while Emma couldn't stop laughing. At sunset, sitting on a hill overlooking the city, sharing gelato, Luke confessed, "I never thought traveling could change my life this much. I thought I was searching for inspiration for my blog. Now I realize I was searching for you." Emma's heart filled with warmth and joy.
Rome brought unexpected challenges. They got lost in the maze of streets near the Colosseum and almost missed the evening train to another city. Tensions rose. Luke thought Emma wasn't paying attention. Emma thought Luke was rushing too much. But then they stopped on a square, sat on a bench, and simply looked at each other. The city's hum and evening silence seemed to whisper, "You're together. That's enough." "We'll manage," Luke said, taking her hand. "Always together," Emma confirmed. They continued, laughing at their mistakes and enjoying unexpected discoveries, small pizzerias, street musicians, and funny encounters with locals.
Barcelona greeted them with sun and festivals. They joined a local celebration, danced with strangers, tried exotic snacks, and laughed until tears came. They met another couple traveling and falling in love right on the festival streets. Emma and Luke shared stories, realizing their love was not just romance, but friendship, support, and laughter. That night, sitting on the beach under the stars, Luke said, "Every city, every person, every random event, it all led me to you. I want to continue this journey, not just through the world, but through life." Emma smiled. "Then let our journey never end." After months of traveling, Emma and Luke returned home. Adventure seemed over, but reality greeted them differently. Work schedules, responsibilities, familiar streets, all seemed dull compared to vibrant European cities. At first, they drifted slightly apart. Luke immersed himself in writing posts about their trip, and Emma tried to adjust to daily life. But every evening, they found time to talk, share photos, and laugh at memories. "Remember when we lost the suitcase in Venice?" Emma asked. "And Cupid the kitten," Luke laughed. Exactly. They felt the same lightness they had on their journey. They realized love is not just romance and adventure, but being present together in everyday life.
Emma and Luke decided to pursue their shared dreams. Weekend trips, planning future travels, and running a joint blog became their new adventure. Each new place was not just a discovery of the world, but a test of their relationship. Disagreements arose. Who chooses the route? Who pays? Who writes the blog? But they overcame it all, as they had before. "See," Luke said one evening, "travel taught us to trust each other." "And laugh at ourselves," Emma added. Their rule became trust, support, and find joy in every moment together.
They began exploring their surroundings, small towns, parks, exhibitions, friends. Each day reminded them that adventures are not only in distant countries, but in the way they journey through life together. One evening, Luke suggested a mini road trip along the coast. Emma agreed. They listened to music, stopped at scenic viewpoints, took photos, and laughed while recalling funny European moments. "Travel made us braver," Emma said. "But the most important lesson? That we can face any adventure together. Even a normal day at home," Luke added, "and still feel like we're traveling," Emma smiled.
Months passed. Emma and Luke planned their future, living together, small trips and adventures. They laughed over past mistakes and cherished every small moment. Their blog became popular, not just for photos or travel stories, but for the authenticity and love between the lines. One evening, sitting on the balcony, watching city lights, Luke whispered, "This journey we started together will never end." "Yes," Emma replied. It continues in every day of our life. Their love became a true adventure, endless and full of joy, facing life's challenges together, finding happiness in every shared moment.